Hey you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl Nikki, bring you the latest and trending topics in our vlog, My Life. So today, you guys, I'm gonna dive right in because I'm so excited about this. So, shout out to People Magazine for dropping this article, but Casey Anthony is speaking out, and I'm so excited about this because I always wanted to hear her side of things. Okay, she has not spoken out until now, and she's dropping some bombs, you guys. She's dropping some bombs. So she has a short mini series coming out on Peacock. All right, and I can't wait. Sorry. All right, here we go. So People Magazine dropped the article. Casey Anthony blames her father for her daughter's Kaylee's unaliving. Okay, he took her from me. She's saying he went away. All right, I always thought her parents acted weird to me, and they did a series on A&E, and they're saying they're just so distraught, right? But one thing that stood out to me, they're not in contact with Casey at all. They were not in, she cut off all communication, and she is now breaking her silence. And I am here for it, okay? Because I always wanted to know what happened. Like, she beat the unaliving charges against her daughter, but they charged her with like basically lying to the police. So she got time served, and Casey Anthony basically disappeared. So let's jump into the article. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Here we go. All right. So, in her first on camera interview, Casey Anthony makes several explosive claims about her daughter's unaliving. Casey Anthony is finally speaking out and placing the blame for her daughter's unaliving squarely on her father, George Anthony. I always thought he was weird. I really, really did. Her father gave me creepy vibes, and he used to say like how he used to dote over Kaylee and everything, and the mom too, or whatever. They were covering for each other. Because how did this all happen? All right. So Anthony, now 36, is telling her version of events on Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies, a three-part limited series which will begin streaming November 29th on Peacock. In the documentary, she sits down for her first on-camera interview. In 2008, Anthony became internationally infamous after the disappearance of her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. 6 months after the girl vanished, Kaylee remains were found in a wooded area near the family's home. And that's what I always thought was strange. Like, it was so close to the family's home. And I always felt like one of those three had something to do with placing that little girl's remains there. So Anthony was charged with the unaliving. Okay, during her 2011 trial, her legal team said that Kaylee had drowned in the family pool. She was infamously acquitted of the unaliving charges on July 5th of 2011, but convicted for 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement, for which she served prison time for that. Okay, and I always thought she was such a cute little girl with those big, big, big brown puppy eyes. My heart just like melted for this little girl, and imagining what she went through. So during her extensive interview, Anthony dropped several bombshells and elaborates on allegations that she had been SA'd by her father, George, and her brother, Lee. Okay? Both men vehemently denied her claims in court and have never been charged. They did not return People's message for comment. Yeah, because they all still alive. All right. So in the documentary, Anthony alleges that her father staged Kaylee's drowning in order to cover up that he may have been abusing his granddaughter. This is a sneak peek. I'm not going to play it because of copyright reasons. I'll drop the link of the article in the description box. So if you guys want to go on your own to look at it, feel free. So Anthony says, I wasn't feeling that great and I wanted to lay down. Anthony says about June 16th, 2008, when Kaylee was last seen, I had her lay in the bed with me. I was awoken by my father shaking me and asking me where Kaylee was. She continues. That didn't make sense. She would never even leave my room without telling me. I immediately started looking around the house. I go outside and I'm looking to see where she could be. Okay. This all makes sense. You want to know one thing that stood out? She was a teenage mother. And I always wondered, like when a young woman tends to be that active, that young, and they end up pregnant, there's usually some trauma behind that. All right. Because why did she want to be so fast, right? To be a mom. And this story always like bothered me. So Anthony says she then saw George Anthony holding her daughter. All right, that's her dad. Okay. All right. He was standing there with her, she says. She was soaking wet. He handed her to me, said it was my fault that I caused it, but he didn't rush to call 911. He wasn't trying to resuscitate her. I collapsed with her in my arms. She was very heavy and she was cold. So then she goes on to say he takes her from me and he immediately softens his tone and says, it's going to be okay. I wanted to believe him. He took her from me and he went away. Okay, so Anthony says she went to stay with her then boyfriend, Tony Lazaro, but didn't tell anyone what had happened. She says she wasn't under the impression that Kaylee was unalive. So during the 31 days, I genuinely believed that Kaylee was still alive. She says, my father kept telling me she was okay, and I had to keep following his instruction. He told me what to do, and I tried to act as normal as I could. So when asked if she believes that Kaylee drowned in the above ground pool, Anthony says no. There was no ladder, no way for her to shimmy up. All right. And there was no way to explain that unless George put her in the pool to cover up what he did. This is interesting. I can't wait to see this series. So, in the interview, Anthony makes a damning accusation against her father. She says, he put a pillow over my face and smothered me to knock me out, she says. That happened several times. And I'm sure there were times where I was incapacitated as a child, where my body was limp and lifeless. Okay. So, Anthony says that she worries that her father had moved on to abusing Kaylee. That's what I think about. She says, I wish every day I had said something to someone about something. Maybe then things would be different. So this will be streaming on Peacock on November 29th, and it's called Where the Truth Lies. Will begin streaming. So I can't wait, Nighty Crew, to see this series. You know what? Her story has been consistent. Sorry, my computer timed out. Oops. Okay. So anyway, her story has been consistent throughout the years. She always has accused her father and her brother of violating her. Okay, so I can understand um her fears about her daughter because it happened to her. It happened to her. So I always felt like the parents' behavior was strange, and I knew they had something to do with this. I knew it. Drop down into my comments, Naughty Crew. Let me know what y'all think about this. I can't wait to see. I'm a watch it, Naughty Crew, and I'll give a review on my channel so we can interact in the comments about it. I am so happy she is finally speaking out. And just for content purposes, everything that I mentioned is alleged. It has never been proven in a court of law. The only thing I'm stating is Casey's story has been consistent. Casey's story and her parents have had financial gain off of this through the years. And I felt like when they went on A&E for their little series, I just did not believe them. I knew they were covering for each other. So that's all I have for you, Naughty Crew. I appreciate you taking the time with me. Please remember to hit that like, subscribe, and that bell button so you can be notified when I update content to my channel. Until next time, Naughty Crew, I'm out. One.